Hi all, hope you are doing great. Today I will tell you a story about one of my colleagues who suffered and eventually came out of a very difficult scenario. My colleague, after spending a considerable amount of time in the industry, expected some good thing to happen. However, but as they say, man proposes and God disposes. He was put into a project wherein he was not able to feel psychologically safe. There were continuous challenges that he was facing with little or no solution, and thus the inevitable happened. His performance degraded, and he lost entire motivation to work in that environment, and the worst happened. Now, luckily, one day he started reflecting on his behavior as to what is bringing him to the most problematic thing in his life. What is the thing that is bringing the most problematic thing in life? He spent hours, considerable time. He spent hours and considerable time with himself and realized the fact that his zeal to pick up the challenge is gone. He reflected and found even if a small work, let us say writing an alphabet, comes to him, he will feel that he cannot do it. And once convinced, he will start thinking, indeed, he cannot do that, and eventually he will lose interest. And he further realized that if some rewards are also associated with it, say if you do this work or if you write this alphabet, I will give you a chocolate, or maybe you will be your salary. I mean, don't laugh at it, guys, but you might get a salary hike. So that is not also interest, giving him a lot of sufficient amount of interest to work. So which results, if he is into this situation, will always result in procrastination. And he used to procrastinate heavily, and the results used to come as expected. To come out of the problem, he used a technique which is very much popular nowadays, I think, is known as affirmation. But he used to use affirmation in a very peculiar manner. Whenever a problem happened, whenever a negative thought used to come into his mind, he used to attack the thought in a very peculiar way. For example, let us take the example of I cannot write alphabets. So for that, the first step he used to take is to write it down somewhere in a piece of paper. And remember, he never used to type it on a phone, or maybe he never used to write it in a laptop or something. He used to write it down in a piece of paper. And then next step, he used to say to himself, okay, fine, I know that I cannot write it. Let me give it a try. I mean, no harm in trying. Let me give it a try. And wherever I cannot, I will feel like cannot, I will just leave it there. And then he used to think that what is the next step, that is asking a question, next step to giving it a try. What is the first step he needs to write an alphabet? The obvious answer used to come into his mind is, perhaps to all of our mind, is a piece of paper and a pen. He used to grab that piece of paper and pen. And then he used to think that, okay, what is the first thing I can do once I have received the pen and the paper? Can I write the first alphabet? I don't mind whether it's a small letter or it's a caps lock or whatever it is. Let me write it down. So he used to write. And he used to pat his back for the alphabet, for the first task achieved. And he used to move to each one of the alphabet, jumping from one to another. And then he used to reach until the end of the alphabet. He used to repeat these steps. He used to pat his back. He used to give himself some reward. Say, I will watch Netflix for 10 minutes if I write the next alphabet and all that. So that is how he used to get slowly, he used to take the baby steps to reach the success. And then finally, when he completed the task, he used to feel proud that, okay, I have done this thing. We all have our own way of dealing with the problem. This aforesaid style, which I mentioned here, worked for him. Maybe you have got a different style. So I'm very interested to know what is your style to work in such a maybe negative or a toxic environment to keep yourself fit and fine and move ahead to this. Please do that. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Till then, bye.